We're live streaming and recording. Okay, excellent. All right.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Excellent. Good evening.
Try it again.
Hello. Okay, good. There we go. All right. So good evening. I call this a very special public joint meeting of the North Clackamas School District Board of Directors and the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District Board of Directors to order on Wednesday, June 26th at 6:01 p.m. I would like to remind our community that the purpose of our board meetings is to conduct the business of the district first and for everyone to learn about the district in a safe and productive manner. We are gathered as a joint board this evening to discuss and take action on the terms of agreement for the purchase of the building and property of the Wichita Center. I'd like to take a moment to introduce each of our boards. North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District Board, welcome and thank you for being here. Vice Chair Ben West, would you like to introduce yourself and your fellow board members?
Thank you. My name is Ben West. I'm the Vice Chair of Clackamas County, and we have a couple of our members are joining us virtually. But to my right, we have Commissioner Mark Scholl. To my left, we have Commissioner Paul Savis, and I believe Chair Smith is joining us virtually. And is Martha Schrader online with us? Okay, and Martha may be joining us virtually, but we do have a quorum here, and Administrator Gary Schmidt is also joining us from Clackamas County. We also have Jeff Munns with the Parks District, and we have the Parks District Director, Kia Shelley. And then, so Gary, can we go ahead and take the roll for the Clackamas County Parks District?
Vice Chair, would you please call to order, though, the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District?
Oh, wait, yes, excuse me. I will now call to order the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District Board of Directors meeting. And now, Administrator Gary Smith, will you please take the roll?
Thank you. Director Scholl.
Here.
Director Savis.
Present.
Online, Director Schrader. She will be joining. She's not here yet. Chair Smith.
Here.
And Chair Smith was not able to be in person, so she asked Vice Chair West to chair the Parks District portion of the meeting. Vice Chair West.
I'm here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will have each of our board directors introduce themselves as well. We'll start with you, Director Bauer.
Director Bauer, I'm here. What else is there?
My name is Glenn Wachter.
Tori McVeigh.
Director Way and also Vice Chair.
And my name is Gina Betaloga. I'm the chair of the Board of Directors. Our native land acknowledgement, we will begin with the native land acknowledgement. Vice Chair Way will lead the acknowledgement this evening.
We acknowledge the land on which we sit and which we call the North Clackamas School District, rest on the traditional and indigenous lands and village sites of the native peoples of the Kalapuya, Chinook, Molalla, and the Clackamas. We take this opportunity to offer gratitude for the ability to learn, work, and be a community on this land, and we offer thanks to the original caretakers of this region. We recognize the historic policies of colonization, genocide, relocation, and assimilation that affected Indigenous and Native families, both past and present, and that will affect those in the future, and honor the resilience and revitalization of our Indigenous and Native communities. We pay our respects to the elders, both past and present, who have been the stewards of this land throughout the generations.
Thank you, Vice Chair Way. Now it's time for the Pledge of Allegiance. Director Wachter, will you lead the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag tonight?
I pledge allegiance to the
Flag, United States
And to the
Republic, which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is Wichita Center Purchase Review and Discussion. I welcome Assistant Superintendent of Operations Cindy Detchen and North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District Director Kia Shelley.
Good evening, directors of both boards. It's great to be here this evening and to talk about some of the things that have been being talked about behind closed doors for several weeks and months now, and we're really pleased to be here. So we're just going to go through just a quick overview and reminder of why we're here. The Wichita building, previously an elementary school in North Clackamas School District, converted into a community service building some years ago. And we've been operating the following services that you see, providing food and clothing and some very necessary items to keep students in school. When we all know that when they are experiencing any kind of food or housing insecurity, learning just doesn't happen, or it doesn't happen to the full extent that it can. So we've been grateful to have this location. It's also home to several other components of the school district. It's where we run our after-school program, our administration for our after-school and before-school care program, our administration for 21st Century Grants, which offers all kinds of enrichment opportunities for students after school. And we also have an oral and dental health program for all of our elementary students who may not otherwise have those services. And we also do our field and facility rental through that building as well. We have several partners and are thrilled to have these partners on board. Wichita has become what we refer to as a one-stop shopping center. It was originally mostly around for our families experiencing houselessness or for a food pantry and a small clothes closet. That soon expanded from one classroom to a full gym. And we've expanded it into 2 different classrooms for the food pantry. And then we added another freezer. And so it's become more and more evident of the need in the community, especially since COVID, when we were feeding families via buses. We were bringing buses and loads of food, and I know many of the county folks were doing that as well. So we grew to also include a lot of these partners. And so you see there several of them represented, including some of our county services. We have health centers in our district, but we also have our Head Start program with the Children's Commission. And then we have Women, Infant, and Children. We have our WIC offices there. So what happens typically, somewhat like you see there, there's a parent walks in with a young child, maybe 3 years old. They heard that perhaps we have some food that they might be able to glean. They might be having a hard time. They walk in, we start talking with them, we realize, those shoes are kind of small for you. Would you need some new shoes? And we walk them in, and they walk out with some clothing as well. And then we say, while you're here, are you familiar with WIC? Do you have a preschool plan for next year? We could get you in a Head Start. And pretty soon, the handoff from agency to agency becomes a wraparound service for all of those families. So we're extremely grateful for this opportunity to continue those services in its current location and provide a seamless services for our families. Wrong button.
Cindy?
So I am going to turn it over now to my colleague, Kia Sally. She's the director of our Parks District, and she's going to go over the terms of the sale.
Thank you, Cindy. On June 6, staff and representatives of the NCPRD Board of Directors and NCSD School Board reached a tentative agreement on the terms of the Wichita property sale as follows. The purchase price of $2,375,000 in cash at closing. Clackamas County's support to reallocate $1 million in Federal American Rescue Plan Act funds for capital building repairs. NCPRD to receive priority status for scheduling and a $1 million credit for the use of NCSD fields and facilities to deliver recreation programming. Youth programs will be charged at NCSD's 2024 Class A rates for a period of 7 years. All other uses to be charged at current NCSD rates. NCSD will acquire the property in its current as-is condition, with close of the sale by September 30th of this year.
We are here to answer any questions. We also have counsel for both the school district and the Parks District if there are any legal things that you might need to know about.
All right, thank you very much for the overview. Directors, are there any comments or questions? Director Bauer.
Thank you, Chairman Loga, and thank you all for being here and
I'm excited and I want to congratulate the hard work that everyone has done on this and our community for stepping up and speaking out and being there, and our students bravely speaking out, writing notes to both of us and reminding us keep focused on how important this is for our families. So thank you all for the tremendous work. I think I just had one little question, and that was on the field use, prior Class A rates for a period of 7 years. Just tell me a little bit more about the details on that. Class A, remind me what that is.
Yeah, Class A rate is what we charge. We have three different rates, and Class A is the lowest. It's actually discounted well below market rate. And so the discounted rate is for mostly, it's all youth programs, and they have to be primarily in the North Clackamas School District. We actually take rosters. So think about your junior baseball league or the local recreational soccer club. They turn in rosters. We make sure 90% of those students are actually residing within the school district, and they're nonprofit. And so these are typically volunteer boards. That's the same rate that we would charge any of the youth programs that the Parks District would provide. They serve all of our families anyway. So as long as we can stay focused that they're going to be the children's programs and focused on youth, then we can charge them that Class A rates. They also get priority scheduling. And so when each season we do the scheduling, we will do all of the Class A rates first before we go on to B rates, which is more like civic organizations or adult-focused programs, and then C are any for-profit agencies that want to rent.
Thank you. Director Scholl, did you have a question or comment?
Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's worked on this issue regarding the Wichita Center, from my fellow commissioners, the county staff, NCPRD, North Clackamas School District, those who work at the Wichita Center, the families that utilize the Wichita Center, and especially the children. And so tonight, there's a feeling here of a result that is one of community, close-knit community across the county. It took some work. It took a lot of people disagreeing here and then, now and then, but it all resulted in a good outcome, and I'm hoping that the motions tonight will pass with flying colors. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Savas.
Thank you. I'm just compelled to just kind of tell the story how we got here. I'm sorry? I'm just compelled to tell the story how we got here for people who aren't really aware. And we discussed this, and I learned a little bit too as far as what the school district position was, I guess. But back in 2018, there was a sale and transfer of some properties and cash for the acquisition or transfer of. Wow, it doesn't like me.
Yeah, do this. Sorry.
All right. And so the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District was excited about the three properties, in particular Concord School, the Clackamas School, and Wichita. And from touring the sites prior to the deal being consummated, I really was tickled because I thought that the Wichita property was a really nice it is a really nice property. So, the understanding was that the school district was going to transfer operations to another site. And apparently after a couple of years, that did not happen. It kind of, I guess it fell through, so to speak, or those terms were. And unbeknownst to the county and unbeknownst to the district, the Parks District, we had COVID. That was somewhat of an interruption, and was never communicated that there was not going to be a transaction or a transfer of the property to the Parks District for parks purposes. So recognizing the needs that have already been stated and the continuance of that, the county and the district discovered that the property itself was in needs. That's why we were very pleased to be able to proffer in this arrangement $1 million of ARPA money towards fixing the roof to help that along. And we have concerns, and I think the district's made a commitment to taking care of some other structural issues with the building. So we're excited by that. And the welfare of the people in the buildings has been a primary concern of mine and my colleagues. And we're just somewhat pleased with this transaction, but also a little bit hoping that we would have a property we could actually have a park on. But for the greater good and children and the value that are, I mean, there's nothing more valuable than our children in our lives. So I just want to just say that, you know, I think we learned from each other how we got here. I think it's important for the public to learn how we got here. And I'll just close with that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Director Wachter, you're next, and then I understand Commissioner Schrader would, okay, and we have some
Yes, I-
people online that would also like to speak. So Director Wachter, you are up.
I'll just keep this short. I'm really delighted to be at this point tonight with NCPRD board and North Clackamas School Board. This is really, it's taken some significant work, and I appreciate your recollection of the storyline of how we got here. I think that does matter to kind of tell the history of it. In my professional career, which has been focused on healthcare delivery for over 25 years, to succeed in healthcare, it's all about access and making the access to care as simple as it possibly can be. And that is what I love about the Wichita Center, the services that it has historically provided. It's a lifeline to thousands, and it's easy. So I'm in full support of this transaction. I'm delighted with it, actually. And I think it's creative, and I think it shows both a really strong sense of community by both the NCPRD board and North Clackamas Schools, how much we care about our community. So thank you for being here, commissioners.
Thank you. Director, so we have Martha Schrader, correct? Director Schrader, would you like to speak?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
And you can probably hear my grandfather's clock in the background, but I need to promise Commissioner Shull that hopefully my dogs won't bark. In any case, I want to thank all of you for all of this. I had no doubt that we would come to a solution that was adequate for everyone, largely because my belief was, and I visited the Wichita Center, I had a clear idea of what was being offered there. And what really occurred to me through the whole process was that we were all serving the same demographic and the same people. And so it was essential that we work this through, that we maintain the services that are so embedded in the community. And at the same time, we were able to help the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District remain whole. So I think we've achieved all these goals. I never lost hope or a feeling that this wouldn't come to fruition. I'm glad it has, and thank all of you for all the hard work you do for all of our folks that need our services in the community. I especially want to do a shout out to Gary Schmidt, who I think was largely responsible for acknowledging, wait, we have ARPA dollars, and that those dollars can be used to fix the roof. And Gary, that was a brilliant idea. And thank you, because I think it helped bring negotiations to a close. And everybody is getting what they need and what they want, particularly our citizens. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Director. Director Smith, would you also like to speak?
Yes, thank you very much, Chair. I too want to echo some sentiments. I want to thank the negotiating team who met many, many times and didn't give up. And that would be the employees of the school district, along with a couple of school board members, the NCPRD staff, two commissioners negotiated this. I'm just very happy that they're able to come to a conclusion on this. And I think it's a good deal. I think it's financially solid. And talking about serving shared constituencies, this money will go to the Parks District to enhance the parks and services that the people use, not only from the Wichita Center, is the same constituency as the Parks District. So that's really important, that we keep programming available so the same people can use it, and our parks are a vital part of community. And that's just hugely important. We're thrilled to death that this is coming to fruition, and I'm very supportive of the document going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Smith. Director McVeigh, Director Way? Director Way?
Sure. I'll say a few things. Thank you so much, Chair. Also want to just piggyback on what everyone has shared and first of all express my heartfelt thanks to our respective boards for reaching this tentative agreement. We know it took a while to get there, but we've made it, and I think with that, really want to thank everybody for your collaboration and partnership. When I think of the Wichita Community Center, there's been a lot of words that have been described positively to describe the work that it does. But one of the things that comes to mind for me is the word stability. And I think in reaching this agreement, we're able to continue to provide stability, not only for our community and our students and families, but also for the staff. Who work tirelessly there to serve our most vulnerable population. So again, I just want to thank everybody for hanging in there, for the partnership and the relationships, and last and not least for the community, for your emails and your messages. I'm looking across the room and we've been getting a lot of your advocacy for this. So thank you for being here and thank you for showing up.
Thank you, Vice Chair Way and Vice Chair West.
Thank you. It's true that the government closest to you is your local government. We impact your life the most, your school boards, your mayors, your city councilors, your county commissioners. We're the government closest to you. And we I think did really good work here. I'm really proud of it. I wish we would have gotten in the room quicker. We would have had this meeting months ago. Once we all realized we were on the same page and we did have the same view on what was the priority here, we got really creative. And, you know, as an elected, you don't always get to take votes that you're super excited about. You don't always get to like make policy decisions that are 100%. I totally agree with that. Some of them are gray. Some of them you get wrong. You look back and like, gosh, I probably would look at that differently today. But this is what I'm really excited about. This is a win for Clackamas County. And this is a win for the North Clackamas School District and the Parks District, which this is about just local community members getting creative and finding that solution that we need. So I'm super excited to support this. It was an honor to be in the room with the members of the North Clackamas School District, with Commissioner's Office and our staff to figure this out. It was fun. It was collaborative. And I felt like there was some kinship and some trust built between our two jurisdictions. And so I appreciate that. And if all of our government efforts went this smoothly, it might be a little bit better place in our community, right? But I think that at the end of the day, it was about what was doing right, with taking care of not just the Parks District, but also taking care of our mutual constituency. This will have a lasting impact. Lives will be affected by this. Stability is the key word. You are completely correct, Director. So with that, I'm really excited to support this moving forward. And then once again, want to thank the North Clackamas School District for just being willing to get in the room with us. And that's what was missing. That was what was missing. It was like we should just initially say, let's just get together. I think, I don't know, we had probably a bag of nuts and some lunch and, and a bottle of water or two, and we got it done. So it was interesting in that what truly happened was a lot of misunderstandings were immediately alleviated. Oh, you thought that's what was meant, or you thought that that's the direction it was going in. We thought this about you, and immediately within 15 minutes it was like, oh no, we all have a very shared common interest and goal here. And then here we are, I think, with a celebratory, resounding, supportive vote for this this transaction moving forward. And I want to congratulate you guys in purchasing a new building for your constituents, their joint constituency. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I also want to mention we have Director Kemp, School Board Director, who's also online. Paul does not have his hand. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone. I too just want to mention how important this is. And there's been lots of words talked about this evening about stability, about wraparound services, about taking care of our community. But what Wichita does is really wrap its arms around our community and our most vulnerable people, our most vulnerable families that need us at a time that's really hard and scary. And by keeping those services, and I'm glad that Cindy walked us through what that's like when they walk in the building, to be able to be walked and to be talked to about the available services that are there. It's invaluable. It's the building itself is not an issue, right? But the services that it provides is absolutely priceless. There is no price tag that's enough for the services for our community. So I want to thank the people that were that did get in the room. As you said, we were in the same room and we had the same interest. We want the best for this community, and what can we do together to give it to them? And I just really appreciate all of you that worked on this so hard and just made sure that we came out of that room with, you know, a bag of nuts, a lunch, and a deal. That's important. So I do want to thank everyone. All right. And we don't have anybody else online that'd like to speak? All right. Excellent. So next on the agenda is the public hearing of a property transaction. We will hear public comments on the Wichita Center property transaction only. Community comments are an opportunity for our community to share their ideas and opinions with the board. Input is welcome and valued. It is our duty to keep it safe and respectful for everyone, students, staff, and our community. This is not a time for discussion or debate. Letters to the board are always welcome, and we read the input. Requests for information should be requested as outlined in policy KBAAR. An individual desiring to speak will have indicated their desire prior to the board meeting. An individual with a disability will be given an equal opportunity to participate in board meetings. This may include someone speaking on their behalf if their disability or other medical need limits their ability to attend in person. Board policy also speaks to accommodations available. A speaker will be required to give their name, city of residence, and the group, if any, that is represented. If there are more patrons desiring to present comments than time allotted, the board chair has the authority to reduce the presentation time for individual speakers or institute a prioritization process with first priority to students and city of residence. Speakers may offer objective criticisms of district operations and programs that are of a concern to them. The school board is restricted from hearing and will not consider complaints regarding any individual staff member or any person connected with the district. Comments that make a staff member identifiable to the public, even without their specific name, violate the policy. As an organization centered around youth and their positive development, all speakers will model respectful public comment and be mindful of civil discourse. We will keep the order of speakers announced by me, the chair. So I welcome our one speaker this evening, Ms. Story Long. If you will state your name, city of residence, and the group that you represent, if any, and then your clock will begin.
Right there. Hi, everyone. My name is Story Long. I am a pastor and organizer with Storyline Community, and I live in unincorporated Clackamas County. And I am here representing many youth in the Southeast Youth Collective and many organizers and folks that wrote in letters and spoke at these meetings. I almost didn't do public comment today, but I was like, well, I show up a lot to antagonize, so it would be great to show up and say thank you. So I did want to say that, just thank you for all the effort and all the work that you all spoke to today, for the creative ways you've approached this and have worked together to create a solution that it seems like everyone in front of me is happy with. So I really appreciate that. I want to just quickly name just why this is so important. We've heard a lot of numbers and data, and I just wanted to share a quick story. In our work with Wichita, we're a part of the safety net that Wichita works with. And that's what makes them so valuable, is they're creative in the way they see a person. They're creative about the way they meet those needs. They're creative and know that they have an ally in the community. And just in the last few months, someone from Wichita reached out to me and said, we have someone who's right on the edge. They don't quite qualify for rental assistance. But he's recently a single dad and is having trouble finding a job that allows him to be a single dad. And they knew they could reach out to us. And then we reached out to our church friends and said, hey, do you have 500? Do you have 1,000? Do you have 1,500? And we were able to keep a father and his son housed. And it's because Wichita is creative and engaged with the community. And it's why it's so essential. So I thank you all for allowing Wichita to stay where it is, so more families like that family can continue to access the resources in their community and continue to be a part of the community they call home. Thank you all.
Thank you. The views and opinions expressed during community comment are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the North Clackamas School District Board of Directors or the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District Board of Directors. The public hearing is now closed. So next on the agenda is purchase of Wichita Center property. This is for the North Clackamas School District Board only. Is there any further discussion about the transaction itself? Is there a motion for the purchase agreement?
Chair, I make a motion to authorize, do you want me to read the whole thing? Okay. To authorize the superintendent to enter into a purchase agreement for the Wichita Center real property for a total cash offer of no more than 2.375 million and the equivalent of 1 million credit in field and facility use by the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District, otherwise known as NCPRD, with Clackamas County providing North Clackamas School District, NCSD, $1 million in funds for capital improvements to the building on a closing date of no later than September 30th, 2024. Also authorizing the superintendent to enter into an intergovernmental, okay. And then, so that was the first motion.
Okay, and are we clear? We have two different numbers. We have a 2.375, that's correct? Okay, all right, because there's a different script that says a different number. So we're just, okay, all right. So we are clarifying, thank you. Is there a second?
McVeigh, second.
It's been properly moved by Vice Chair Way and seconded by Director McVeigh. Is there any further discussion? I will call for a roll call vote on the motion. Director Bauer?
Aye.
Director Dobson, was she able to join online? No, all right. Director Kemp?
Aye.
Thank you. Director McVeigh?
Aye.
Director Wachter?
Aye.
Director Way?
Aye.
And Director Benaloga, I am an aye as well. The motion passes with a vote of 6-0. Thank you. Do I have a motion on the intergovernmental agreement? Director Bauer?
Chair Benaloga, I move to authorize the superintendent to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the NCPRD establishing the terms of the 1 million credit in field and facility use, including freezing the rates charged to NCPRD for youth programming at current Class A rates for 7 years.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved by Director Bauer and seconded by Director Wachter. Is there any further discussion? I will again call for a roll call vote on the motion. Director Bauer?
Aye.
Director Kemp?
Aye.
Director McVeigh?
Aye.
Director Wachter?
Aye.
Director Way?
Aye.
And Director Benaloga, aye. Motion passes with a vote of 6-0. I now turn it over to the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District Vice Chair West, as this is for the North Clackamas District Parks District Board only.
Thank you so much. Next on the agenda is the sale of the Wichita property. Do any of the directors of the NCPRD have any further comments or questions or concerns? I am seeing none. No further discussion. I will entertain a motion from my board.
I move to authorize the district administrator to enter into a purchase agreement for the Wichita Center real property for a total cash offer of no more than $2.375 million and the equivalent of $1 million credit in field and facility use by the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District, with Clackamas County providing North Clackamas School District $1 million in funds for capital improvements to the building and a closing date of no later than September 30, 2024.
Second.
It has been properly moved by Director Scholl, and it was seconded by Director Savas. Any further discussion by the board? It's exciting stuff. I will now call for the vote on the motion.
I'll do the roll call for this. Director Scholl,
Aye.
Director Schrader,
Aye.
Director Savas. Aye. Chair Smith,
Aye.
Vice Chair West.
Aye. The motion passes 5-0. Seeing no further business before this board, the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District Board is now adjourned.
And we are at the end of our meeting. I want to leave you with a quote from Charles Darwin that I found fitting and someone helped me come up with. It is the long history of humankind and animal kind too, that those who learn to collaborate and improvise most effectively have prevailed. So tonight's been a wonderful evening and a wonderful night and a great night for our community. It is now 6:38 p.m. and this joint meeting of the North Clackamas School District Board of Directors and the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District Board of Directors is adjourned.